Good evening, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. My name is Scott Foyer. I'm a proud member of the class of 1990, and I'm the president of your Alumni Association. Welcome to our 2022 Special Recognition Award Ceremony. It's great to be here together with everyone in person after we've done this event for the last couple of years remotely, and really feels good to be back in person again and see some friends and people from the university here today, so we're really excited about this. Each year, this event celebrates the best of Binghamton. Tonight, we'll be honoring graduates who are doing amazing things in their careers. At the same time, they haven't forgot the university that put them on the pathway to success. Our award recipients have all been engaged with Binghamton in some fashion, using their time and talents for the betterment of our students and fellow alumni. At this time, I'd like to call President Harvey Stenger forward to make some additional welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Well, we're in New York City again. These lights are so bright, I cannot see anyone. So I'll just stare blindly out there and pretend I'm looking at you. If I smile, smile back. Yeah, coming to New York City, we haven't really done much travel in New York City. I was here a couple of times during the pandemic, and you were the only person on Fifth Avenue driving down the street. Well, that's changed. I left my hotel at 54th Street and said, oh, sure, I can find a cab. I'll just start walking down Fifth Avenue. I'll get a cab. Well, that doesn't happen. It's back to normal. You stand there, and finally you talk yourself into walking down to 9th Avenue, because maybe you'll get a cab there, which I did. So I made it. Binghamton, on the other hand, is very quiet, but doing well. I really think we are hitting our stride. I've been there for a little more than 10 years. We've had a lot of buildings, we've added a lot of programs, we've had a lot of students, but the best part is that the students are some of the best students in New York State. Definitely the best students that go to any SUNY campus, and they do great things after they graduate. This is kind of the season of the end of the semester, end of the year, is the season for celebrations, awards, and speeches. Lots of speeches. And I go to a lot of events where alums talk about their experiences, and they're usually award winners. Now, I'm not going to, because I know that each person here who's won an award might have something to say, so I don't want to prejudice what they might say. But almost inevitably, and it's genuine, they say Binghamton University is the reason why I am where I am now and doing what I am doing now. And I think about that, and they say it, and I think about it, and I say, well, maybe they're just trying to be nice to us because we're giving them an award, or they're getting an honorary degree, or they're an honorary alumnus at a graduation ceremony. But then when I start to think about the impact that Binghamton University has on our students, I think they're right. I start to think about, well, what's the number one thing about Binghamton University that you probably all remember? It's hard. Academically, it is challenging. And you know that you came from a high school where you were probably in the top 10%. And you came to Binghamton and everybody was in the top 10%. And the academics were hard. And that's probably the first thing that you start to think about. That's why I'm successful, because I know more than other students that graduate from other universities. During that process, though, you got to meet faculty. And those faculty, especially the faculty in our liberal arts programs, got to know you very personally. And they became mentors. And there was a personal relationship that you built with our faculty. And our staff, who I really consider Binghamton University family members, take great care of our students. And we've had a lot of staff here tonight taking care of our alumni. I want to thank them. But then there's the relationships that get built between students. And one of the statistics I find I'm very proud of, I had nothing to do with it, but 9,000 of our alumni are married to each other. 4,500 and 4,500 are married to each other. That's a pretty significant measure of the impact of relationships. I can't see, but how many people here are married to a Binghamton alum? Look at that. Statistically, we'll do some calibrations and extrapolations and see if my theory is right. But we need speeches to be short tonight, so I will end by congratulating and thanking the award winners tonight: Susan, Michael, Robbie, and Ralph. Looking forward to hearing the accolades that we have for you tonight. Congratulations. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Harvey, for welcoming everybody. I just wanted to share a very quick, like less than a minute, of story of the power of the Binghamton Network. And I met somebody at Metro Connections night, a young lady who's getting her master's degree from Binghamton. She's graduating in May. And I know many of you participate in Metro Connections night, or the name changes sometimes from year to year, but that's the gist of this meeting with, networking with graduating students or younger students. And this young lady, 4.0 GPA, she wants to go to law school someday. I work at a law firm. And I talked to her for about half an hour, and I said, look, send me your resume, who knows what could happen. And I sent it to our hiring coordinator. They interviewed her, they were blown away, and the next thing you know, she's going to be working in my firm for her first job out of college in grad school. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and that's the power we have as alumni to help our students. So anyway, it's now time to recognize 5 outstanding alumni for their accomplishments, which bring tremendous pride to the university. To present our special recognition awards, it's my pleasure to call forward Alumni Association past president, Lisa Abbott.
Who just climbed Mount Everest.
Yes, I did. And I'm more anxious in this room than I was out there. So I'm the one with the mask, and I'm going to wipe my hands between every award. Sorry, I work in healthcare. Just got to do it. Thank you very much, Scott, and thank you all very much for coming tonight and joining us in this fabulous celebration. It actually is really great to be here in person. It's been a long time. We've done so many things online, and we've learned how to do so many things online. But if I have to Zoom another one of these events, I just am going to move to Kathmandu. I just am. So, I get asked to MC this event occasionally, like every year we've done it, because I try to keep us on time and moving forward. But do enjoy your salads. We'll do a couple of the awards. We'll take a little break for dinner, and then we'll finish up. I love this event because I really am so appreciative about our recipients and their passion, to Harvey's point about Binghamton University, and how their experience shaped their livelihoods, your livelihoods, all of our livelihoods. We're all great ambassadors for the university out in the world, but our Alumni Award recipients are special. The influence that their education had on their choices made them champions, and they have undoubtedly changed countless lives across the world. We're so very fortunate to have you among us, and I appreciate being able to celebrate you this evening. So let's get on with the business of the business. We were going to do some videos tonight, but this venue would have not allowed us to share those in a way that would have celebrated the videos in a way that we want them to be shown. But they'll be online. Steve assures me they'll be online. So we get to cut a couple of minutes off the program, and you get to have more fun enjoying one another. We're going to start with the Lois B. DeFleur Award, which recognizes alumni who graduated within the last 10 years and are age 35 or under, and who are established or demonstrate potential to become future leaders. This year's award recipient is Robert Cohen, class of 12, MPA in 14, who is the director of the Emergency Operations Center here in New York City, leading program management, professional development, and response policy development. I'm sure he's been bored the last 2.5 years. In the short time since his graduation, Robert has had a tremendous career in public service. The roots of his career started in Binghamton, where he was a leader of the Harpers Ferry Volunteer Student Ambulance Service. Laura Bronstein, who's the dean of our College of Community and Public Affairs, nominated Robert but was unable to be here tonight. In her place, John Cook, Vice President for Advancement, will be saying a couple of words. John?
Thank you, Lisa. Harvey, you were right. Can't see a thing up here. Wow. Congratulations to all our winners tonight. This is a great event. It's one of my favorites that we host at Binghamton. So Dean Bronstein was so disappointed she couldn't get here. And I did talk to Robbie before the dinner. He was aware she couldn't come. So I'll do my best Dean Bronstein impression. Robert Cohen, a two-time alum of Binghamton University, demonstrates a consistent and substantial commitment to the university and the Alumni Association. Robert was an active EMT, driver, crew chief, preceptor, and agency leader for Harpers Ferry Ambulance from 2008 through 2014 during his time in Binghamton, including serving as its executive director in 2011 and 12 when he led the response to a harrowing 2011 tropical storms Irene and Lee. Since graduating with his master's in public administration from CCPA, Robert continues his involvement with Harpers Ferry, serving as a member of its board of directors and often speaking with and mentoring students at their annual agency conference and other student and alumni events. In New York, where he now lives, Robert is active with the Metro New York chapter of the Binghamton University Alumni Association. He regularly hosts students who are interested in emergency management or local government through the Liberal Arts to Careers Externships program at New York City Emergency Management, volunteers at Metro Connections Night, and participates in other Alumni Association events. Robert consistently demonstrates a commitment to the service of others through his crisis response activities. He began working at New York City Emergency Management in 2014 as an after-action report coordinator, then served as its deputy director, and now as director. In this capacity, Robert bears a significant responsibility for the welfare of the millions of people in New York City, including its COVID response. Prior to the pandemic, Robert participated in emergency responses beyond the bounds of New York City, including coordinating refueling missions for hospitals and dialysis centers, which were running on generators in Puerto Rico immediately after Hurricane Maria. This is my Dean Bronstein impression. Robbie, I'm so sorry to miss seeing and congratulating you in person this evening. You epitomize all the qualities of a distinguished young alumni, and I'm thrilled the university is acknowledging you through this prestigious award. Thank you.
Rob Cohen, or Robbie, as I knew him back in college, is one of the most genuine, caring, empathetic, and compassionate people that I have had the honor of being peer students with back in Binghamton and now coworkers with. He, especially during COVID, during the height of it in New York City, was such an advocate for all of our staff. He definitely received many phone calls from me when I was tearing my hair out, but he really cares about everyone and wants to make sure that everyone is thriving and that people have information and everything that they need, and really cares about the people around him and in giving back, and that extends to his work in Binghamton. We have a lot of alumni at New York City Emergency Management, and he is by far the champion among us, making sure that we know what's going on and really trying to help educate other students, potential emergency managers, about what the job is. So I am so thrilled that he's winning this award. I think it's very well deserved.
Robbie, come on up. can't see them.
Good evening, and thank you very much, John, and thank you, Dean Bronstein, as well. I have a short list. I was asked to talk for 2 minutes, and I'm going to try and come in at 2 minutes. I have a short list of people I want to thank. My parents, who have supported me literally from day one, who are here, which is wonderful. Mom and Dad, thanks. If you have any leftovers and you want to give them to my dad, I'm sure he'd appreciate that. And my loving wife, Becky, who has been with me. We celebrate 5 years married this year as well, so thank you. And a number of mentors. So like Binghamton, as President Stenger mentioned, was tremendously informative for me, I would say. And it was an impactful experience, both challenging and meaningful academically and also outside the classroom as well. And a lot of my work with Harper's Ferry, there's a short number of people I want to thank as well. Dave Hubany, Joanne Fioraconte, Brian Rose in the MPA program, my professors Tom Sinclair, Christina Lambright, Nadia Rubai, and at New York City Emergency Management, Katie, Jake, Megan, and Calvin, who have all been influential mentors to me and are tremendous advocates and responders as well. Jake, now my boss, is a Binghamton alum himself, though I didn't know that at the time, but that's great. And I just wanted to offer a few short thoughts of what kind of they have taught me, and what, as President Stenger mentioned earlier, what Binghamton University taught me. And I think the first two would be get involved and find a way to help. And I think a lot of the work that I was really lucky to be able to do on campus and continue doing now, like that's what I try to do. And I think so many other people here, and I was reading the very impressive resumes of the other folks who are getting recognized tonight as well. Like that's what they do. They get involved and they find a way to help. And I think that that's of tremendous value. And the last piece that I would say from one of my mentors, Calvin, don't build something that falls apart when you're not there. And I think Binghamton, for me, like really taught that. Like, can you take something you've learned here and get it to stick somewhere else? Can you find a group of people that you connect with and have relationships with and learn from and at times teach as well and at times maybe disagree with, but still get along and get the mission done? And I think that that's a tremendous benefit of my time at Binghamton for sure. So I loved my time at Binghamton, and to have this means a great deal to me. So thank you. This is wonderful and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We will move on now to the Edward Weisband Award, which recognizes one alum each year whose life, work, career, and contributions exemplify the highest standards of service and deepest dedication to the sustenance of the common good. This year, our recipient is Michael Weingarten, class of 70, a vascular surgeon, professor of surgery at Drexel University College of Medicine. Here to deliver a few remarks about Michael is Phyllis Lucci, Development Officer for Harper College, who nominated Michael for this award. Phyllis? I can't see it. As you know, I can't see it.
Good evening, everyone. You know, as a development officer, and I think my fellow development officers would agree, we have a unique and distinct opportunity to meet so many caring, generous, creative, and accomplished alumni. But every so often, we encounter an individual whose philanthropy is just an integral part of their life. It is a fiber of their being. And Dr. Weingarten is no exception. Through the loving support of his wife, Dr. Carol Tucci Weingarten, he is an example of someone who gives from the soul because it feeds his heart. Throughout his life and throughout his career, Dr. Weingarten has volunteered in a variety of different ways. He has served his country during the wars of Iraq and Afghanistan as part of the U.S. military combat casualty program. To say that 3 times fast. He completed a 2-week surgical mission in 2010 after the devastating earthquake in Haiti. And most recently, he has mentored Harper College and Harper Edge students when it comes to finding out about different career options within the medical profession. But he also has a day job, and that is as professor of surgery and assistant dean to the Medical Scholars Tracks program at Drexel University's College of Medicine. His accomplishments are many and varied, and that is why it is with great pleasure that we present Dr. Weingarten with the Edward Weisband Distinguished Alumnus Award for Public Service.
Hello, my name is Xiaoshun Li, and I am the current recipient with Dr. Weingarten's Scholarship Award here at Binghamton University. I am a current sophomore student studying biology at the university. Through receiving this award, it has opened up many opportunities for me during the academic school years. It has freed me from having to pick up a part-time job, which will take away from my academic studying and other interests. But because of this scholarship award, I am able to partake in various interests outside of having to find another economic income. I am currently part of a research lab here at the university, as well as part of various other clubs, such as Club Team Sunrise, where we raise funds for children's camps, and other pre-health clubs. Through this scholarship, I hope that I will be able to continue my studying and eventually get into med school and hopefully become a doctor in the future. So once again, I would like to just thank Dr. Weingarten for this scholarship and congratulate him on his award.
Sorry, I can't see out there. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Liucci for this nomination, and I'd like to thank the committee for this prestigious award. When I arrived at SUNY Binghamton, back then it was Harper, by the way, I had a suitcase and a portable typewriter, and I never would have dreamed, times have changed, I never would have imagined that I would be up here receiving this award and how this Harper SUNY Binghamton would change my life. My first remembrance of SUNY Binghamton Harper was on my tour before I started. There was plywood everywhere, construction, everything. There were no sidewalks. And I knew that I could build a career there as well, just something that struck me right away. My very first day at Harper, I also remember, I was dropped off in the parking lot in the old Bingham Hall, and I remember, thank you, and I remember walking in thinking, I have to make it here. I was the first in my family to go to a 4-year college. I knew I wanted to go to med school when I entered Harper. And I knew that that was plan A. I had to get into med school somehow. There was no plan B. And over the next 4 years, and to really, our president really summed it up very nicely, SUNY Binghamton really provided me with the education and the skills I needed to succeed. It really taught me how to deal with a very heavy course load, but more importantly still, I was able to figure out how to find a place for myself in the college community. Nowadays, we call this a life-work balance. Those are the new fancy terms. Back then, we didn't have that term. And I really learned about myself. SUNY Binghamton also taught me about mentoring. I was a biology major, but being pre-med, I had to take chemistry. So I got through general chemistry and the gauntlet of organic chemistry, for those who remember those days. And for reasons that I never, still to this day, don't understand, signed up for analytic chemistry. It was just one of the toughest courses given in the university by one of the toughest professors, Dr. Gilbert E. Janauer. The course and Dr. Janauer lived up to their reputation. They were tough. I got through it, and I wound up doing research with Dr. Janauer over the next 2 years, and we truly bonded together. We wound up really being good friends. He was also a mentor to me because he showed me what a work ethic was. I used to study in the fine arts building in empty classrooms until about midnight or 1 a.m. I never pulled an all-nighter. And I'd walk back to Whitney Hall, and I'd look back, and the science building was up on the horizon. And on the 7th floor corner, his office light was almost always on. And it was not because he forgot to turn it off. He was working. And I figured if he can work that hard, so can I. We became good friends afterwards. He came to my wedding, and we are still in touch with his widow. I did get on to med school. Med school is best described, when I think about it, as SUNY Binghamton on steroids. That was the curriculum. And again, I think what the skills that I learned at SUNY Binghamton got me through this. I also met the most incredible woman in the world at SUNY, and when I was in med school. And she changed my life, and I changed hers. We went out about 6 weeks and got engaged. Her parents are probably very upset and astonished, as would be. I have a daughter, and I'd say, really? And that was 48 years ago, so we're still chugging along together. Carol, would you mind standing up? I then went on to do a surgical residency right here in Manhattan at NYU Bellevue. It was a different era back then. We were on every other night for 5 years. 120-hour work week was pretty much the standard. And then a vascular fellowship at Henry Ford in Detroit, same sort of a training program. And again, if you look back at my college and all the things that I had to learn to get to where I was, it really made a difference in terms of getting me there. I've spent most of my career in safety net hospitals. Bellevue was clearly an example of that. And in Philly, Hahnemann Hospital, for those who know the city, was a safety net hospital, which unfortunately closed about 2 years ago. Probably the highlight of my career was working in Haiti after the earthquake, the first earthquake, not the second one, where I saw a totally different type of medicine and a totally different culture. And what really impacted my life was working with the military as a civilian volunteer in the combat casualty program, taking care of wounded troops, medevac from Afghanistan and Iraq to Germany to Landstuhl Regional Medical Center. Carol and I went 2 weeks every year for 6 years. I think I learned more there than I gave. I just walked away knowing so much more and saw probably the best health care that I've ever seen being given. I also learned, though, that you don't have to get your passport stamped to be a participant in helping others. This pandemic has brought out the profound inequities in healthcare access in our inner city area and in rural areas, and the bad outcomes. And so there's a lot we can do in this country to deliver better healthcare. So again, I want to thank the committee for this award and for SUNY Binghamton for giving me the tools not only to succeed academically, but to really develop the self-confidence and grit. Grit, by the way, is an educational term, which we also use for surgery now, to succeed as a surgeon and use my training to help others. Thank you again.
So let me pick up with the Alumni Achievement Award. We have 2. So this hasn't happened since I've been emceeing this event, so it's quite exciting. The Alumni Achievement Award recognizes a Binghamton graduate, or graduates, who over the course of a decade or more have exemplified outstanding, significant professional achievement. This year, we have 2 extremely worthy co-recipients. The first is Ralph Gonzalez, year 2000, a retired NYPD detective who is president of Atlas Unmanned Solutions Incorporated. Atlas is a company serving military, first responders, and private security around the globe. Before we call Ralph to the stage, we'll hear from a longtime Binghamton friend, Fahim Smart, from the class of 2004. Fahim.
Good evening. My name is Fahim Smart, class of 2004, and I've been fortunate enough to know Ralph for about 22 years. I first met Ralph when I was a freshman at Binghamton. He had recently graduated, and at the time I was a potential interest in the fraternity that he's in. And about a year and a half or so after, I became a member of that same fraternity and just got to know Ralph well over the last 20 plus years. And if I could just think of one word the first word I would think about when I think of Ralph would be excellence. It's something that he's embodied and modeled well from even, my initial impression of him when I met him as an undergrad all the way until now. And just, working with him within our fraternity and just thinking back to over the last 20 plus years, excellence is what he's embodied, and just thinking about his career as, his career in law enforcement. I remember when he first started as a police officer, not so long after I graduated, there were instances where I ran into him in the city while he was on duty, and just thinking back and seeing how he worked his way up, became a detective. Eventually he was assigned to the Counterterrorism Bureau at NYPD. And just seeing out everything that he's accomplished in his career, just working to such a degree of excellence with the policies, the strategies, a lot of things that he's implemented, him and his team, to protect the city. Things that we, for those of us that live in New York City, we sleep well at night and we kind of take it for granted. And a lot of that is thanks to Ralph and his team, and a lot of strategies and policies they put in place to protect us, a lot of threats that we don't even know about, we don't even hear about, because they've been able to successfully prevent and thwart that. And I just think like he's done it to such a degree of excellence that he's got to travel the country, he's got to go abroad to teach, both as an instructor and in his role as a law enforcement officer, to teach other people and train other law enforcement officers on the different tactics and strategies that he's been able to successfully implement here in the city. And in that regard, his impact has been far beyond, a typical police officer or detective in the 5 boroughs here in New York City. And just in addition to seeing him accomplish so much professionally, over the last 7 or 8 years, I got to work very closely with him in our fraternity. He was instrumental in helping us establish our Alumni Association within the Epsilon chapter of our fraternity, and through that, he's been able to help us give back so much to the university, specifically at the EOP Educational Opportunity Program. Ralph has helped to just lead a lot of workshop and activities for the incoming freshmen, helping them transition into college, as well as helping put together workshops to sort of get them career focused on what they should do once they graduate. In addition to that, he's helped us establish a scholarship that was dedicated to one of our fraternity brothers that passed away recently, and we've been doing it for about the past 5 or 6 years. Benefits an EOP student and helps cover their textbooks for the academic year. And so just, thinking back to just everything that Ralph does, whether it's personally, how he's a family man, he raises his wife, he's a great husband, he's very committed to his volunteer commitments within the fraternity, and he's done an exemplary job in law enforcement, and he's gone on to, start his own company afterwards. So, just reflecting on the past 20 years and working alongside him, it's outstanding to do just one of those things with excellence. And the fact that he's able to do just everything that he commits to with excellence is remarkable. And that's why we're here to congratulate you. Thank you for all you've done, and congratulations.
Hello. Ralph, it is wonderful and a great privilege to recognize you at this time for your remarkable accomplishments. We join your family and many friends, Binghamton staff, alumni, and EOP family in saying that we are very happy for you and very proud of you. From your first year at BU to the present, it has been a privilege to know you. It has always been clear that you are a caring individual who genuinely enjoys interacting with others and doing things to help people. This is how and why you were so successful in working with the NYPD for 20 years. We are thankful for the many contributions you have made to Binghamton by returning to campus and speaking to students about your experiences as an undergraduate and what you did to persist to be successful. Students especially appreciate your sharing information regarding the many options for careers based on majors in the liberal arts. It has also been wonderful for you to bring other alumni to speak about their BU experiences and current professional employment, all of which have given the students great encouragement and motivation. We also appreciate the EOP scholarship you have helped to establish with several other BU alumni in memory of another EOP BU student. I could keep going on for a long while to express our gratitude, but I will conclude in saying you are the best. Keep going forward, remain the positive person who you are, and we look forward to hearing more good things about you in the near future. Best wishes and blessings to you, your family, your wonderful supportive wife, Bill Mary, another one of my fabulous former students and also BU EOP graduate. The best to you always, Ralph.
Thank you, Fahim. I'll try to live up to that. It's pretty impressive. I also climbed Mount Everest a couple of weeks ago. So, right after her, she didn't see me on the way down. But thank you. Listen, it's been a blessing. When I first applied for Binghamton University, I had 3 or 4 different guidance counselors, teachers. And I remember all the names that said, "You're not going to get in, don't bother." And I said, "No problem, talk to me in a year." Took me 2 years, but, I got it. I got in. And there, the doors opened up in a way that I could never imagine. I met my beautiful wife of 27 years. First week on campus. It was a short-lived experience. I met some fantastic friends, which to this day they're here with us today, and there's a few other guys that couldn't be here today, but the friends, the wife, the student loans, all those things I left Binghamton with were fantastic. But I'll tell you a quick story, and then I'll let you guys kind of carry this on. Throughout my time at the university, I had a fantastic time. I struggled with the grades, but I met the standards. We graduated, we did good. But during that time, we did a lot of volunteer work. And I remember I think we helped rebuild 2 daycare centers in the lower income portion of Binghamton, the city. We did a bunch of stuff for Binghamton itself is a hub for relocated immigrants, so we did some stuff with them. And right before I walk out the door, I get an award from the university. And, it was a, student, activities award, whatever it was. I still have it. I just don't remember the name. But it was a real honor to get it. But there was something that kind of put a shadow over things. I got to sit at the table with the president of the university. And I'm not going to say her name, but she reaches over. And the first thing she says to me is, "How do you like it here at our university?" And it was weird, because I know that she didn't mean anything by it, but it created a wall. It made it seem like it's not really, mine, but. So for years, I entered public service. Right after college, I was recruited by, a top firm, and I got a great job at UBS Payne Weber. I did a year of that stuff. I really didn't like it, so for whatever reason, public service called my name. And, you know, I joined the police department in middle of 2001. You know, I'm having a great time, and then all of a sudden these towers fall, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, what did I get myself into? But, you know, we survived 20 years later, and, you know, we left the city in a lot better place than, you know, when we started. Throughout those 20 years, I was also constantly going back to the university. You know, every time the EOP director, anybody else at the university called and said, hey, you know, we need somebody with your kind of experience to just kind of share with the students. So I can't count the amount of times. My kids know the university in and out because we're constantly up there. And then last month, I got a chance, I was invited to speak at the Men of Color Conference, and it was a fantastic event, and I got to meet our new president, you know, and what a great experience, you know, just humble individual that just kind of acted like he knew me for the last 20 years. And it was at that time that I was kind of realized something, that the first time I met the president 20 years ago, she was wrong. You know, it's actually my university too. You know, and all the stuff that I've done, that I've gotten from the university and the stuff that I've given back, there's no way that it's not my university. And tonight, this kind of cements it. And I am so grateful to be even mentioned in the same breath as the other recipients. You know, it's a true honor. And I will do my best to keep this, you know, this standard moving forward, you know, for the rest of my days. And so to all of you, I just, you know, Mr. President, I just want to say thank you, and to everybody. Sorry for the long-winded speech, but thank you so much.
Harvey, you new? I don't think you're so new. You and I have been doing this for a little while. Great remarks, thank you for those. So we're also pleased to present Susan Marenoff-Zausner, class of '87, with an Alumni Achievement Award. She's the president of this little thing you might have heard of called the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum, notably the first woman to hold that position. Longtime friend Bruce Greenbaum from the class of 1985 nominated Susan, and he will join me now at the podium to say a few words. Come on up, Bruce.
Good evening. Binghamton University, or as I prefer to still call it, SUNY B, was a place many of us called home for 4 great years. It helped shape, I believe it helped shape all of us into the people we are today. Even though Sue and I overlapped at Binghamton for 2 years, I didn't meet her until several years later. The day I met Sue, I also met her childhood best friend, Lori. Little did I know then, Lori would become my wife. It was like I got a 2-for-1 deal. I got a wife in Lori and a good lifelong friend in Sue. Over the past 3 decades, I have watched Sue grow in all her work roles. Sue was always the friend with the more flashy and cool job that everyone wanted. She worked with the Knicks and Rangers when I met her at Madison Square Garden. Then she was off to the Women's Tennis Association. And then after that, she was the general manager of a professional sports team, the New York Power of the Women's Soccer League. And finally, to the Intrepid Sea and Air and Space Museum, where she became its first female president over a decade ago. Sue has made the museum one of the most successful in New York City and probably the nation. The Admiral, as I like to call her, has navigated the Intrepid's growth over the years. She helped arrange for the space shuttle to become a permanent exhibit. She created programming for local school children to become interested in STEM fields. She developed fundraising for wounded veterans and steered it through the COVID pandemic crisis. I always knew Sue excelled in all her positions. she held, but it wasn't until this past November when she invited my wife and I to attend the annual Veterans Day Gala on the Intrepid, which allowed me to see Sue in action firsthand. It amazed me how she so elegantly and flawlessly led an event of over 800 people. In attendance were local, state, federal politicians, current and former military personnel, astronauts, rock stars, and even the royal family of England. It was then I realized how much Sue has accomplished, and I felt she deserved some recognition. She has become an exceptional leader and role model to many, including my own 2 daughters. This is why I was proud to nominate my good friend, Susan Marenoff-Zausner, for the Binghamton University Alumni Achievement Award, and I am prouder for her to accept it.
Each year, the Fleischman Center for Career and Professional Development partners with other offices across campus to organize our New York City Connect program. Through the Connect program, we organize visits to local employers and organizations throughout Manhattan that we call employer treks. Designed for networking and career education, treks offer exposures to career paths, industry trends, and organizational cultures while highlighting industry expectations and providing an opportunity to expand a student's professional network. To successfully host this program each January, we depend on a network of dedicated alumni like Susan. In 2018, Susan opened the Intrepid Air and Space Museum to Binghamton University students interested in learning more about the museum and working in the nonprofit sector. During the visit, Susan discussed how her career path impacted her professionally, as well as contributed her success as president of the Intrepid. For Susan to take time out of her busy schedule to personally welcome the students and staff from Binghamton University shows her true commitment to education and mentorship. During the trek, students had the privilege of receiving a personal tour and insider information on what makes the Intrepid a National Historic Landmark from its first female president, allowing them to experience the career opportunities that are available to Bearcats. The Fleischman Center is grateful for the opportunity to have worked with Susan and her willingness to support student career development.
Cry in front of 800 people, though. I don't think I've had this much fun and had my friends see me on a podium at a stage since my bat mitzvah. So, Bruce, that was beautiful. Thank you. Lisa, Mount Everest, oh my God, amazing. Yeah.
We'll talk.
And, definitely. And Ralph, thank you so much for your service to our nation and yeah, thank you so much for your service to our nation and all you do. It's really extraordinary. And to all the other honorees, it is such a privilege to be amongst you and hear from you and hear about you. And I do have to say, too, that Jen Gabriel, who's not here tonight at the last minute, is the person who put all of this together. And she, from what I know, worked tirelessly to do so. And so I just want to say thank you to her. And to Alumni President Scott Boyer, moving out President Chair, right, Lisa, and of course University President Harvey Stenger. It's a privilege to have you here with us, to be with us here tonight for these honors. So when I learned that the award was representing, I'll quote it, outstanding significant professional achievement, I got a little taken back. I don't see myself that way. I see myself as wanting to do a good job, the best I can, to move people forward, to move organizations forward. And if I get the opportunity in doing all of that to give back and to make an impact, then that makes me just truly happy. At the Intrepid, I have the incredible fortune of having all of that wrapped up into one, and I don't take that for granted. But my journey to the Intrepid, as so many people ask, like, how did you get there with your background? It definitely was untraditional. There is no doubt that from graduating from the School of Management in Binghamton, I had a great job going into Bankers Trust. I was recruited, but yet after a year, I quickly realized that banking was not for me. And I was fortunate to fall into this opportunity in a crazy way from a beach at Madison Square Garden, as Bruce said, working for the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers. And it was really amazing working there. After that, I left and I went to the 1999 Women's World Cup, another incredible, fun, crazy, hard work opportunity. the Women's Tennis Association, and again, the New York Power of the WUSA, which was just phenomenal in the way that it gave back to young girls as an organization, the first of its kind for professional female athletes. But now I have this very rewarding, very fulfilling job at the Intrepid. Been president there for 10 years, and I started there actually 8 years prior to that. But the incredible education and the foundation that I received while I was at Binghamton is what has allowed me to pivot without fear, without trepidation. It's allowed me to kind of get out of my comfort zone and really try new things. And I always felt that it was applying the core and the skill that you learn really from the start to different industry, different subsets, just trying new things as long as you can stay that straight and narrow from your soul. So I did. I went from what was business, banking, to sports, to cultural, all holding that business thread. And that is something that I will forever be grateful to Binghamton. However, there is one other critical part of Binghamton that has become crystal clear to me tonight and as I was preparing this. It's the people who go into and who come out of Binghamton. And they are pretty darn special. And that's everyone in this room. And I can tell you from the people who are here that are my friends, they are grounded, they are smart, they are successful, they are supportive, they are genuine, they are thought leaders, and they have all made an impact in some way, and they have made perfect forever friends to me. And I have to tell you that in this group here, we have the class of '89, we have, Skylar, we have the class of '87, a bunch of us, we have the class of '86, the class of '85, '84, '83, including my husband, and I don't know if it counts because I met my husband after we both graduated. So we did raise our hands, but we might have skewed the numbers there. And we have the class of '77, and the person here from '77 happened to have been the editor of The Pipe Dream. So I just want everybody to know we had an influencer here at that level. So these are the people who are amongst the closest to me, and these are the people who have supported me unconditionally in my personal and my professional life, no matter what. So I thank you all for coming out. I'm grateful for this award, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Yay, Sue! Give it up for Sue. And the big table, and yes, it counts. It counts. All right. Good, it's good. I have one award left on my paper, and there's one award left on the table. That's a good thing. It's going well. It's going well. The Glenn G. Bartle Award is the highest honor given by the Binghamton University Alumni Association. The award honors and recognizes graduates who have rendered outstanding voluntary service to the Binghamton University community while also serving their communities, their careers, and their country. This year, we are very pleased to present the Bartle Award to Michael Kerner, class of '86. He is President and Chief Executive Officer of Munich Re Specialty Insurance, a division of the Munich Re Group, a leading international insurance and reinsurance organization. Celia Klin, Dean of Harper College, nominated Michael. Celia, please join me to make a few remarks. Celia is stuck.
Okay, it's blinding, it's true. Good evening, everyone. It's delightful to be here, and I have to say, every time I'm able to spend time with the alums of Binghamton University, it reminds me of why I'm so lucky to be Dean of Harper College. It just inspires me all the time to meet our students and then to see the students, after they leave and they become the alumni. So it's just delightful to be here. I'm honored to be able to celebrate Mike Kerner, tonight's honoree, and this year's recipient of the Glenn G. Bartle Distinguished Alumnus Award. I stepped into the role of Dean of Harper College during the early days of the pandemic, and Mike Kerner was in the first group of alumni that I had the privilege to work with. And I understood, really for the first time, even though I've been at Binghamton University for what seems like forever, what it means to have alumni like Mike supporting us. I was immediately struck by his deep commitment, his knowledge of the university, his kindness, and the wisdom of his counsel. In the middle of the rough seas of 2020, meeting Mike helped me to believe that we were going to be okay. My gratitude and admiration are deep. Mike's contributions to the university have been nothing short of extraordinary. In addition to his many, many professional accomplishments, including, as we heard, his recent appointment as CEO for Munich Re Specialty Insurance, tonight we honor and celebrate Mike's leadership and the generosity of his gifts of time, talent, and vision to Harper College and to Binghamton University. Mike's first annual gift to the university was the year after he graduated, which I think says a lot. And he's kept on giving. Mike and his wife, Dr. Kerner have been major donors to a number of Karen got applause, that's nice. A number of critical initiatives, including their generous investment in the Harper College Advocacy Council's Faculty Development Endowment, and that's a mouthful. The endowment supports faculty research and scholarly activity in ways that have really changed the college in the years since this endowment began, helping us to recruit and retain our excellent faculty. Through the years, Mike has also shared his industry experience and career advice as the keynote speaker for a number of distinguished lectures in the School of Management, as a member of the Parents Leadership Council, and through Harper Edge programming. This past year, Mike stepped into a major role as a member of the campaign committee. And I could go on, but I won't, because I was told I had 2 minutes. So I will let you imagine that there were many other things, because there are. So Mike, we are immensely grateful for your extraordinary commitment to Binghamton University, for the many years you have shared your time and your talents with us. I look forward to all that we can accomplish together. I hope that the 2022 Glenn G. Bartle Distinguished Alumnus Award serves as an expression of the depth of our respect and gratitude.
Congratulations to Michael Kerner on receiving the Glenn G. Bartle Award. My name is Brian Kirsten, and I'm an Associate Professor of Spanish and Linguistics here at Binghamton University, where I research Judeo-Spanish, Ladino, preserved by Sephardic Jewish populations in the United States and around the world. Your support has helped faculty like me carry out projects that not only contribute to scholarship in one's respective field, but also to work with communities outside the university. My Documenting Judeo-Spanish project, generously supported by the Harper College Faculty Research Grant, allowed me to collect a range of documents written in a no longer used Hebrew-based alphabet known as Soletreo. Speakers themselves can no longer read their families' postcards, ledgers, and letters, which have been collecting dust in their basements and attics for decades. This project allowed me to work with communities to not only digitize their documents, but also decipher them, and provide resources for learners, educators, scholars, and speakers alike. Thank you for all you have done to enable and support faculty here at BU.
Hi, I am Tomonari Nishikawa from the Cinema Department and Chair of the department. I would like to talk about my project, which was supported by Mr. Kerner. And the project I have been working on is a 16mm black and white short film about wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is a Japanese aesthetics that appreciate the transient, but also decays and imperfection. For this project, I visited Kyoto, Japan, and I shot autumn foliage around the temple in Kyoto. And I had about 1,200 feet, and I processed all of them. And I'm still working on, because I would like to shoot another, maybe the few scenes around this temple to complete this project. And I started editing, and after having this footage, then I believe I could complete the project. And because of the support, I could work on this project, and this would be a new trajectory from my previous project because I'm going to focus more on about visual composition, but also dialogue between the shot, which might be different from my previous project, which focused more on the structure itself, but also more about concept. So I would like to thank Michael and also congratulations on your award. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Petrus. I'm a professor in the Department of Geological Sciences and Environmental Studies here at Harper College. And I'd like to congratulate you, Mike, on receiving the Glenn G. Bartle Award, and thank you for your contributions back to the university. It's contributions like that that help faculty like me extend our research programs and receive external funding. So thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Kathy Wander. I'm a biological anthropologist at Harper College. I study infectious diseases and nutrition in children in lots of international contexts. And I received funding for a really new line of research from me from a Harper faculty research grant. And this grant supported development of a new method to characterize immune activity in milk, and our research to show that immune activity in milk really does protect infants against infectious disease risk. Future research in this project is going to explore factors in maternal health and environments that might promote immune activity in milk, and explore the longer term effects of the immune system of milk on infant immune development, and then infants' infectious disease risk, allergic disease risk, autoimmune disease risk, many other factors in lifelong health. All of that started with a grant from Harper College, and we really appreciate alumni support for those kinds of grants. They're really important in faculty research trajectories. So thank you, Michael, for supporting faculty research, and congratulations on your award.
All right, so I'm going to try to bring it home here tonight. So thanks, Celia, for those very, very kind words. That was very, very, very nice, and really, really appreciate it. I actually wanted to start by congratulating all the other honorees this evening. We can give them all a round of applause. But Ralph, Susan, Michael, Robert, you guys have all done extraordinary things. Hope you continue to do extraordinary things, and congratulations for being recognized by the university for what you've done. It's really fantastic. So it's really a great honor to receive this award, and I'm really thankful for the recognition, and certainly, you know, from my perspective at least, it represents two different things. First, it represents a little bit of recognition for what I've been able to accomplish and been fortunate enough to accomplish in my career, and what I've been able to do with the university. But it secondly, and probably for me more importantly, recognizes the affiliation I have with Binghamton University. And this is a great university. And I am so proud of the affiliation that I have with Binghamton University and what we've been able to build over the last years. That affiliation, even though, as Celia mentioned, I started donating pretty quickly after I graduated, was not continuous from the time that I graduated. In fact, I drifted away for a period of time. I think many people do. But I was fortunate enough to become reconnected. And there was actually an event that Brad Cass and one of my other workers, Brad's here today, organized where I had an opportunity to do an event for Binghamton, and I got kind of reconnected, mostly because I got introduced to some of the great leaders within the university. So I had the opportunity during that to meet Dean Dillon, who we lost last week tragically to cancer. Dean Dillon is a fantastic leader, a fantastic educator, visionary, and somebody who really, really sweeps you into the university, or swept you into the university. He will be sorely missed in the Binghamton campus and by the School of Management. At the same event, yes, please. At the same event, I had a chance to meet Harvey, and you know, you sit down with Harvey for about 15 minutes, and you get like really pumped up and excited about all the great things that are going on at Binghamton. And this was going back maybe 10, 12 years. There was a vision for what was going to happen, and I've watched over the last years, that vision become a reality, a school of pharmacy, an improvement in the school of nursing, all the various things that have gone on. And Harvey, the leadership that you've shown has been fantastic. And it's so easy to get excited and get behind those kinds of leaders within the university. And so, Harvey, thank you very much for all you've done. I also had, and then it occurred to somebody that I actually wasn't a School of Management graduate, that I actually graduated from Harper. So then I got to be introduced to at the time, Ann McCall. I had the chance to work with Elizabeth Chilton. Now I have a chance to work with Celia Klin as the Dean of Harper. Celia, you have to stick around for a while. You know, yeah, please. So it's always been great to align interests and activities around what the Dean of Harper College wants to do to drive the university forward. So it's been a real pleasure to be involved in all of those activities. And there are really great things happening on campus. If you haven't been up to campus in a while, go up to campus. It's fantastic what's going on. The work that we're doing, the things that we're doing with the students have been great. University is about experiences. And Harvey talked about the fact that very often alumni talk about that if it weren't for the experience that they had at university, they wouldn't have the life they have, the career they have, and that would be absolutely true for me. Experiences that I had at Binghamton shaped who I am today. For me, the most important experience, by the way, most of these experiences happen outside the classroom. Like, I have not really used much of my 2 semesters of topology in anything real that was going on in the world. But the experiences really happened out. And for me, the most important experience was the opportunity to meet my best friend and the love of my life, my wife, Karen. And it's one of those things that you know it had to be the right thing, because I remember exactly. It was Saturday morning. It was on the first floor of Cleveland Hall on the right side. So, you know, I remember exactly when it was. And, you know, by the way, she was an upper class. She was a sophomore. I was simply a freshman at the time. So, and we didn't date until we graduated from college, because we were smart enough to realize that we had to make it something real afterwards. So anyway, so that was clearly the key thing. Beyond that as well, you know, forming lifelong friendships, the experiences that I've had there. I'm fortunate enough to have a number of my great friends that have been friends with me from the time in Binghamton here tonight. Thanks to all of you for coming. Really appreciate it. And then, you know, at university, I had the chance to be a teaching assistant. That's when I learned to be able to think on my feet a little bit, you know, because when you get in front of a class, you have to be able to do that. I had a chance to get involved in student government. That's kind of when I learned that maybe some of the things that I said, people cared to hear, and I had some ideas that should be shared, and it gave me the confidence when I actually started working to speak up in certain meetings and situations to be able to do that. Social life, of course, was a key element of, and for me, because, and we joke about that, but for me, I mean, I came into college without really a great number of social skills. And so building those out allowed you then interact in the business setting as well. So it's really, really important. And as well, after graduation, now many years afterwards, the experiences continue, because I have the chance to work on the Harper College Advocacy Council with a bunch of like-minded alumni striving to make the university better. And all of those experiences are absolutely great. And my belief is we need to provide as many students with ongoing opportunities for those experiences, and that's what we're trying to do. That's what motivates me in the work that I do with the university, is to give other students the kind of experiences that I had that they can then build off of to build their lives and their careers. So I got this call about this award, and I'm like, you know, it sounds like the culmination, you know, sounds like it's the end, you know. I'm like, I'm not that old, you know. I mean, I'm getting older, but I'm not that old, you know. So it's not, and you know, so I really appreciate it. I'm grateful, but it's not even close to the end. I'm not even sure it's the beginning of the end. It might be the end of the beginning. I look forward to doing more wonderful things with Binghamton University. I encourage everyone here to do what they can to support the university. I know you're doing things already, and I look forward to that continued engagement. So thanks to you all. I really appreciate it, and I wish everybody a good night. Thanks.
So my part is over. Congratulations to all of our award recipients. Let me welcome Scott back to the podium to wrap us up, and you can continue to enjoy the evening. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations again.
Wow, what a great evening. First of all, I'd like to give it up for our resident mountain climber and MC for the evening. So this gives you an idea of some of the incredible alumni we have. I was part of the committee that chose the winners for tonight's awards, and I can tell you it was not easy. We had some incredible nominees, so thank you to everyone who was nominated or who nominated someone. And if anyone knows anyone that you feel is worthy of this type of an achievement award or one of the awards we offer tonight, please nominate them next year or in the coming years. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our winners tonight. What you've accomplished since graduating is awesome, and it's truly inspiring to hear how much Binghamton means to all of you, as I'm sure it does to everyone in this room. So that concludes our formal program for tonight. Thank you all for attending. I believe we have until 9 p.m. for the event, so please feel free to enjoy some more refreshments and conversation. I understand from someone whispered in my ear that the centerpieces are up for grabs, so if you'd like to take a centerpiece home, you can arm wrestle or come up with some mechanism to get it. And thank you all for your support at Binghamton University.